What if you do get a scholarship? Hooray! Yes! Oh! So I did some research, and I'm not trying to be broke, and I busted my bum for 3 months, and I was able to get over $15,000 in scholarships. These tips can apply to high schoolers, undergrads, and graduate students. If you're interested in how I got scholarships within a short amount of time, stay tuned. The first thing you need to do is have a system and be organized. So what I mean by that is, whether you want it to be physical or digital, you should have like a filing cabinet, a folder binder, accordion binder, or whatever to keep all your applications, scholarships, and letter of recs in one place. I really prefer digital. I did mine over Google Spreadsheets. The advantage of that is it's really easy to keep track of everything in one page. While you're applying for scholarships, it can be really discouraging because you're not going to get every single one. Therefore, I think you should write down your why. I was able to push through 3 months of me going to boba shops like TMR, Ding Tea, and just keep on writing and revising essays, applying for applications, asking for a letter of recs. My why is to get an education, not be broke, not be in debt, not get loans. So like if you can relate to this, and to potentially make some money. My teaching credential program was about $8,000 to $9,000, and I was able to get about $16,000. If the amount of scholarship money is more than your tuition, that money is yours. Just remember, it is taxable though. It also helps to be tenacious, just kind of like going for it. For example, some scholarships say they like prefer a history major. And I remember looking at that and be like, oh gosh, like I'm a psychology major, like there's no way in heck that I'm gonna get this. I want to give you some context. If you're a high schooler, you need to apply for scholarships. There are way more scholarships for high schoolers compared to people getting their bachelor's or people trying to get their graduate degree. And at first I was pretty discouraged. I was like, oh, there's hardly any graduate scholarships. But I just kept on searching on Google. I recommend that you still apply for financial aid even though you don't think you qualify. I had a full-time job, recorded into my taxes, and I was like, there's no way in heck I'm going to get financial aid. But I was able to get $2,000 in the federal grant. So worth a try. And I want to say, compared to local, regional, and national scholarships, I got the most scholarships from local. I got most of my scholarships through my school's website. Most, if not all, universities have a page on their website that shows you to scholarships, and you're more likely to get a scholarship from your school than a non-student. You can still apply to state and national essays. I'm just gonna say it's a little hard. So you might be wondering, what websites did you look at? Your city foundation, and there might be something that pops up. So mostly philanthropic organizations, and smaller organizations. There's also a website called JVL, and I will put it here. And a lot of websites, what they do is they actually look for scholarships and they post them on their website to see if they pertain to you. Another thing I did too was look at businesses in my city. Typically businesses, they give out scholarships in order to benefit the community, to get their name recognized, and also as a tax deduction. So it helps everybody out. For example, in San Diego, there's an organization called Asian Business Association. I applied for it, it's really local, and I was one of the 3 scholarship recipients. So that worked out. This is one of the most important parts of scholarship applications, is a bomb essay. Honestly, the reason why I didn't get any scholarships in my high school and undergrad experience is because my essay sucked butt, okay? I just wrote out an essay, maybe edited a few things, and then submitted it because I was like, oh, I just want to get this done. I'm so tired of writing. Honestly, writing, you need to revise, revise, revise. Have 2 to 3 of your classmates, English teachers, or friends who are English majors, or whoever's good at writing, look at your paper. Your essay will not be good and will not get a scholarship if you just write it once and never look at it and then submit it. It can be painful to look at your writing multiple times, but what helps for me was that I distanced myself from my writing. For example, I would write a scholarship essay, give it like 3 to 5 days, and I'd come back to it. I would come back with a pair of fresh eyes and I'd be like, oh, that's what I wrote. Oh, that's what I need to fix. So how do you write a good essay? Sometimes these organizations are going to be looking at hundreds, if not thousands, of scholarship essays. Your essay first needs to have a great hook. You need to entice the readers from sentence 1. Otherwise, they're just going to veer off and maybe not even read your essay the whole way through. Strong starts kind of sets the tone for the rest of your story. At the high school I worked at, I volunteered to be on the scholarship committee for the classified staff, and one thing I noticed about the scholarships were that most students were telling and not showing, right? The whole like show not tell. I was resilient because blah blah blah. It's like, okay, but if you really illustrate a story, stories are so powerful versus you just kind of saying, I am this, I am that. I volunteered to be on the scholarship committee, so I've seen hundreds of applications and seen the pitfalls and the strengths of really, really good or poor essays. Another strategy that you must implement in your essay and research is looking at the mission, vision, and values of the scholarship that you're applying to. So if it's from a person who had passed away, were they a teacher, were they a scientist, and you have to figure out how you can connect to that person. So for example, for me, a lot of the scholarship awards were given by former teachers. So I talked about in the very bottom of my essay, if I were to get this scholarship, I would be able to extend the vision and mission of blah, blah, blah scholarship. And that kind of wins people over. That leaves an impression that you did your research, you're making the donor feel special and recognized, and why it should go to you. This tip helps you transform your boring, impersonal, and vague scholarship essay into a more refined, personal, and smashing essay. If you like the tips so far, please thumbs up this video. It really helps the channel. This is my Google Doc, and it looks really overwhelming, and you don't have to do it to this extent, but this is how I kept organized, and this was successful for me. So what I did was I broke the columns down into the name of the scholarship, how much it was, the due date, when I would know if I got the scholarship or not, requirements, and the prompt. And I'll go over these later. The green is if I actually got the scholarship, the yellow is if I didn't get it, and I think the gray was if I hadn't heard anything from them. Okay, so going up, what's really helpful about Google Spreadsheets, having it digital versus paper organization, is you can link a lot of different things to the text. So typically I would like to have a link to the website, for example, SDEA, San Diego Education Association. They typically have their mission, their vision, and people who are in charge, like the president, VP, and all of that. So it's good to know that information because you need to incorporate their mission and vision into your essay. The next thing I like to do is I have my essay linked to it. So this is Cal RTA. Sometimes I'll have an application just to remind yourself of like what is required. This is in green, therefore I got the scholarship. It was my first one ever, yay! And then I had written a thank you letter. This is really important to show gratitude and to have a good relationship with them. So I did that. And then what was really cool is California Retired Teachers Association, every year they kind of have this get-together celebration, and they invited me to as one of their scholarship recipients to do a speech. So I had written a speech, and if I do say so myself, I did a great job. It was fantastic. Okay, and then what is this? 2 to 3 minute speech. Yeah, awarded. So this is kind of what happens after you get your award. So as you can see, there were a lot of failures. I did not get as many as I wanted. However, you know, I was pretty lucky and got some in the beginning, some in the middle, and, you know, towards the end. I think what happened was I just got really tired. No. These are more local scholarships in the beginning and from my school. And then towards the end was more like regional and then national scholarships that are way more competitive. Yeah. Also, in the very bottom, if you're interested in what websites I was looking at, again, some of them were local, but here are more the national ones, teacher.org, Asian Pacific Islander, if you're of that ethnicity background. What else? These are scholarships that my friend got, and I was like, yes, maybe that will apply to me. These are really good general ones. So let's zoom in here. This is jlvcounseling.com/scholarships. They had a lot of options. Scholarships.com. Now I'm going to talk about what if you do get a scholarship. Hooray! Yes! After you are an applicant, there might be multiple stages. Once you are identified and are a semifinalist, you might possibly have to do an interview, and you should prepare for that interview. Your interviewers might be as few as 1 person to 5 or more people. I've been in a panel where there's 5 retired teachers, and I was like, oh my god. I was just like, hello. It can be tough, but honestly, if you're prepared, you should be fine. Now that you got a scholarship, what you have to do is write a thank you letter. That shows your gratitude, and who knows, maybe you can get your scholarship renewed, or if you apply again, they might give it to you again. So what happens to that money? Do you get it personally by a check? Typically, no. What happens is the organization sends the check to your school, and then they deposit it, and it'll go to your tuition. Now, if you get more money, what happens is, if you have direct deposit, it'll go directly to your bank. And that's what happened to me. I got leftover money, about $6,000 to $7,000. Again, my tuition thankfully was very low, and I was able to get $6,000 to $7,000 of surplus money. That was great for me because I was able to pay my rent, my groceries, gas, and all my utilities, and not worry so much about working. In my credential program, I wasn't really able to work. Because it took so much time. Also, I didn't really want to work because I wanted to focus on my students, my curriculum, and my craft. Applying for scholarships can be really intimidating. I know I put it off for a long time because I didn't really know where to start. But honestly, you can do it. You have to set your mind to it. Not only should you have a goal like, oh, I'm gonna apply for 100 scholarships, you have to back that goal up with a system. Every other day, are you going to be looking at your list? Are you going to be searching scholarships? Once you do apply to all these scholarships, just go ahead, relax, and live your life. Do not check every day or every other day to see if you got an email saying congrats. That's going to make you really anxious and focus on failure. So what you need to do is just move on and live your life. And then that's when the scholarships will start pouring. Anyway, I hope you found these tips helpful. If you have any questions, suggestions, or things that you did to get scholarships, please comment below. It really helps the channel. I hope you guys get so many scholarships and don't have to pay for jack squat and make money. Bye!